Welcome back to AI Unfiltered. We're diving back into the deep end of redefining masculinity. Last time we kind of left off with this idea that we're all tangled up in these societal expectations, both men and women. It's like a big knot we're trying to untangle.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And, the sources that we're looking at, they don't just point out the problems, they actually offer some potential solutions too, which I thought was really encouraging.
Okay, I like it. Give me some hope here. What kind of solutions are we talking about?
Well, one of the key things that a lot of the sources emphasize is creating spaces for dialogue.
Hmm.
Men need safe, non-judgmental environments where they can really open up about their struggles, their fears, their aspirations without feeling like they have to conform to some outdated stereotype.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, how can we expect men to embrace vulnerability if they don't even have a space to practice it? It's like trying to learn a new language without anyone to speak it with.
Exactly, exactly. And alongside those spaces for dialogue, the sources also highlight the need for strong male mentorship.
Okay.
Young men especially, they need positive role models who can show them it's okay to be both strong and sensitive, ambitious and compassionate, to see that those qualities aren't in opposition, but they can actually complement each other.
It's interesting. I was reading a study recently that found that boys who had involved fathers were more likely to develop strong emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
It's like, having that positive male influence can really make a difference in how they view themselves and how they navigate the world.
That's a great point. And it's not just about that one-on-one mentorship either. The sources also talk about the importance of representation in media.
Okay.
We need more diverse portrayals of masculinity. Men who are strong, capable, yes, but also emotionally intelligent, vulnerable, and engaged in caring relationships.
So ditch the stoic action hero and show me some real men who are not afraid to show their feelings.
Yes, I am here for that. Because that old trope is tired.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not just about entertainment, it's about shaping perceptions.
Okay.
When young men see these positive examples, it expands their understanding of what's possible for them. It gives them permission to be their authentic selves.
This makes me think about how we define success.
Right.
If we're going to redefine masculinity, we need to redefine what it means to win in life too, right?
Absolutely. And the sources really dig into this idea of reframing success.
Okay.
It's not just about climbing the corporate ladder or accumulating wealth, but it's about prioritizing things like meaningful work, strong relationships, and contributing to something larger than yourself.
Okay. I like that in theory. But I have to play devil's advocate here. In a competitive world, how do you balance those aspirations with the need to provide, to be ambitious, to
Yeah,
achieve?
right?
Isn't there a risk of being left behind if you're not constantly striving for more?
That's a valid concern, and it's something that the sources address as well. And, it's not about rejecting ambition or hard work. It's about questioning the underlying motivations.
Okay.
Are you chasing success for external validation, or are you pursuing goals that are truly meaningful to you? Goals that align with your values and contribute to your well-being and the well-being of others.
So it's like instead of climbing the ladder just because it's there, you're choosing a ladder that actually leads you somewhere you want to go.
Exactly. And that might mean redefining what the top even looks like. Maybe it's not about having the corner office, but about having a job that gives you purpose and allows you to spend time with your family. Maybe it's not about being the richest guy in the room, but about making a difference in your community.
It's a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It makes me think about the role of policy in all of this. Because let's face it, individual choices can only go so far if the system is not set up to support them.
Right. And you're absolutely right. And the sources actually point this out. We need policy changes that reflect these evolving definitions of masculinity.
Right.
Things like paid parental leave, affordable childcare, increased funding for mental health services. These are all crucial for creating a society where men can really thrive in a wider range of roles and responsibilities.
It's like we need to create a world where it's not just acceptable for men to prioritize family and well-being, but where it's actually supported and encouraged.
Exactly. And I think that's where the real hope lies, not just in individual change, but in a collective effort to create a more equitable and fulfilling future for everyone.
Okay, I like it. That gives me some optimism. But before we get too carried away with the hopeful stuff, I think we need to acknowledge that there are some real obstacles in the way.
Yeah.
Like, how do we address these deeply ingrained beliefs about masculinity, the ones that have been passed down for generations?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the sources offer some interesting insights into that. One thing they emphasize is the importance of starting early.
Okay.
We need to be having these conversations with boys from a young age, teaching them about emotional intelligence, healthy relationships, the importance of challenging harmful stereotypes.
So instead of waiting till they're adults and trying to undo years of conditioning, we need to be laying a different foundation from the start.
Exactly. And it's not just about boys either. We need to be teaching girls about healthy masculinity too, so they can recognize and challenge those harmful patterns in their own relationships.
Yeah, that's so important because we all play a role in perpetuating these norms, whether we're consciously aware of it or not.
Absolutely. And that's why this conversation about redefining masculinity is so crucial. It's not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about recognizing our shared responsibility in creating a more equitable and fulfilling world for everyone.
Well said. Well said. And speaking of shared responsibility, it looks like we're going to have to share the rest of this conversation with our listeners next time. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much more to explore.
Absolutely.
So join us for the final part of our deep dive into redefining masculinity, where we'll delve even deeper into the practical steps we can all take to create real and lasting change.